I did that shit. I went to 3 businesses today. I just stopped. I went inside one the other. And I got rejected one. It was a guy that fixes computers, which he's awesome, man. He's been doing it for, man, he said like 17 years, from 10 to 7 every day, 7 days a week. So that put things in perspective to me. I'm gonna pay him a visit again. I'm just gonna say thank you for that conversation. I'll pay him a visit like in 4 months. He's a good person, man. I just could tell he's a really good person. He just fixes Macs and phones, all things iPad. Yeah. What I'm learning as I get older is I realize life is about survival. And when I say survival, you know, not to get too technical, but just making sure that you're well taken care of. Everything else is extra. Everything else is, what else do you want? If you want something bigger, you're gonna have to work for it, or you're gonna have to put in more work, or a different type of work. But really, as long as I complain about money and all this shit, but realistically, as long as I provide enough for my team to eat, everything else is on them. It's not my responsibility to make sure that they are wealthy as a business owner. So why I say that is because a lot of times I talk smack about you know, just bullshit. Us as a whole, and really it's me just getting mad that I make so little money. So I get mad and I try to look at all the reasons and excuses, but it is what it is. But one of the second lady that I ended up going to, the second lady, the first dude, he was cool, but he was like, no. And he said no in a nice way. He was saying no, like, if anybody ever asks, they need, just let them know, hey. And I told him, I was like, dude, you didn't even have to tell me that. You already have a nice enough, like, he was just good people, man. He was a nice little fucking, he was kind. He was a kind person. You know what I'm saying? He had respect. He's a business owner as well, so he has to come off a certain way. But then I went to the next door. It was a Chinese. They don't like me, bro. The Chinese, the Asians, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm the only one, but yo, I know. Like, a part of me want to say, you tripping and shit, but nah, bro. Like, I see enough cultures to know there's something about Asian culture that don't fuck with me. Don't know what it is. It's rare. Not all of them, of course. It's rare. And also Hispanic girls too. Like, Hispanic or certain class, when they see me, they be like, I can't really tell, but you can tell they ain't really fucking with me. But it's cool. It's cool. It just is what it is. Yeah, I just lie. So yeah, I went into the second place. I waited respectfully till she got off the phone, and then and then another lady was like, "Can I help you?" And I kind of said it, and then she was like, "Yeah, that's the lady." That could have maybe fucked it up because now she kind of already had an idea. But I was sarcastic at the end because I know she was giving me that fucking dry response that like, no, like fucking not being respectful to me, and then she was like, so I asked her, I was like, so I told her, I was like, so my purpose in coming here is to see if you'd be open to run Google search ads for your business, to be a little, no, I said that, and then she said no. I was like, okay. Is there a reason, just, you know, can you explain, just for educational purposes, is there a reason why you said no, just so I know? And she was like, well, we're a small, she said we're a small, like, local business or something like that. And then she said, we do appointments like what you just saw, more private, more I forgot how she worded it. I think I recorded it for my own sake to practice and see what exactly how I said it and see what I could have said better. But I did record the third one, yeah. So I did 2-3 businesses, but she was just very dry. But just for the fact of her not giving her the satisfaction of just telling me no and me walking the fuck away, I just kept pressing at it. But respectfully, I was like, so just so I'm clear, and I want to make sure I communicate correctly. You said no, and before I walk away, I'm leaving. But so that's exactly what I would help you with, right? So you're saying you're a local business, kind of small business. That's what I would be helping you with. Is I would help bring customers, or I said for anybody that searches on Google. I didn't do my homework, and that's another thing too. I know that for a fact, because for anybody that I didn't have a key term in mind, saying that's something I have to know before I go in there. I have to know what keyword I could target for that business, so I could give them an example. So when somebody searches XYZ, your business comes up, and you only get charged per click. Now, it depends, because in her, that was actually a good business. I'm glad she rejected me, because I'm okay with doing a salon. Now I think about it, see, action is the only thing that helps. So I would have not thought of making salons a niche, but the fact that that's how they do business. They actually prefer calls, and that's how they book appointments over the phone, which is better, because there's another way to go about it when it comes to marketing online. Is you could market and then, you pay per click, but then paying per click means you have to have a strong amount of, you have to have a powerful message, a powerful copy. You have to have a powerful sales script or powerful information to portray the message and get the customer to either come in or purchase when you're doing that model. But if you're doing a call campaign, which is actually what I'm going to try to focus on initially, I'm only gonna stop in businesses. My niche is gonna be any business that accepts calls, that they actually accept the customer, come in, a lead come in through a call. Either they book the appointment through the phone or they pay through the phone and get that set up. That's how I'm gonna start. Now, does that mean I'm not gonna talk to other business owners? No, I'm still gonna talk to them for the sake of going in there and talking to them and just getting myself out of my comfort zone and practicing. And also that situation right there, I would have not known that if I didn't go in that restaurant or that hair salon. So by me going in that hair salon, now I know that maybe not all of them, but I'm pretty sure they seem kind of modern but classic. You know what I'm saying? They kept things real classic. So when she gave me that snotty eye, I was like, fair enough. Well, I told her to her face, I was like, well, thank you so much for showing me respect. And she just kind of, she didn't show me respect at all, bro. She was a fucking just rude, bro. Like, absolutely rude. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's business, and that's what people gonna do. So I gotta learn to not get connected to that shit. And that's actually a good thing that I'm experiencing rejection, because I was in a phase in my life where I used to get rejected a lot. And that shit created something in me. It created a belief in me, a backbone. It created something where I didn't give a fuck about what people said. And I kind of felt that again. Like, when she told me no the first time, I was like, all right. I was so close to walking away. In fact, like, I walked away in a way that I knew I wasn't going to, but I walked away in a way that, like, I acted like I was walking away. Like that. I act like I was walking away because I wanted to. It's just a technique that I learned, helps me a little bit. When I talk to bitches in the marketplace, it's kind of act like I'm walking away, like, hey, I'm not going to really be here too long, but give me the number, bitch. But there's a couple things that play into a role, right? So, hey, my beard. Like, I understand that people are going to be making decisions based off of this, but I actually don't want to work with people like that. So, for a second, I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, I could improve myself. I can get clean and shit, but bro, fuck that. Those are not the type of people that, I mean, I'll take the money, but I'm not really looking forward to try to communicate and help that type of person, because I know my skill set and what I have to offer is actually something that business owners need. I know that for a fact. I don't care how stubborn they are. It's just a matter of convincing or coming off a specific way. And she told me, no, somebody else. So I went to the third one, and it said tarot card, but I think they did tattoos and all that shit there. It looked clean. It looked like dope as fuck. So I walked inside, and she opened the door for me. I was like, get out of here, man. Opened the door for her. She walked inside, and she kind of cute. I'm gonna follow up just for her. You know what I mean? Like, I I'm gonna follow up for all. But I ended up, so I was like, so who would be the person I need to talk to about potentially running Google search ads or potentially running Google search ads for their business? And she said, he's not here right now, etc. But XYZ, I was like, bet. So I just got business cards. They're not gonna be in for like the next 2 weeks or a week or some shit. But is there a way that I could maybe get their, or something like that, get their business cards or some shit? So I went inside. She gave me a business card with their name. No, I wrote it down. I was like, so who's the person that I need to talk to? She told me Tim. I wrote the business. I wrote the, and I'm gonna actually promote them, even though I don't know if I'll do any acquisition for them. But Golden Tarot Ink Club, Golden Tarot Ink Club. They have a pulse in the space. They're actually doing what they need to be doing from a marketing perspective, which is good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look at their website and see if there's little things that I could recommend and provide value that way. Not charge, just recommend. If I can't find anything that I could help with, well then, then hey man, I can't really do anything. But specifically, she asked me a question. She was like, so what was it again? I was like, so Google search ads specifically, right? So I should have went into that, but if anything, I'll go into that with when I had the conversation with the business owner. But the main thing I gotta always remember is with business owners, I gotta educate them. There's a difference between disruptive marketing and meeting a need at the right time. And that's where Google search ads come in, right? So disruptive marketing, one of the biggest differences in disruptive marketing versus meeting somebody's need is with disruptive marketing, you are you're reaching out to somebody and you're putting a message in front of them, and 9 times out of 10 that's not really what they're like. You're pulling their attention. I gotta word that correct, right? A lot of times when you advertise on social media, these customers are what we consider cold leads, right? They're cold leads because they're not actively looking for whatever it is that you offer. They're not actively looking for the product or service that you offer. So we are going to be targeting hot leads initially. Now, we could definitely go into deeper, we can go into different campaigns. We can go into different campaign management, and we could launch a different type of campaign, and we could start targeting customers that are cold traffic. But that requires more planning. That requires not just brand awareness, but you also have to communicate. You have to retarget, and you have to, ideally, you want to get that customer's information, and then once you get that customer's information, retarget the offer or the service to them for a good 14 days, not consecutively, maybe skip a day or two in between, but just make sure that you hammer and you remind that customer why they initially reached out to you in the first place. So that's one of the biggest differences, is if you're reaching out to a cold client, if you will, if they've never heard of your business, they've never bought anything from you, nothing, they're just cold. Well, you're going to want to bring awareness, educate them, provide value, and get their information so that you can continue reaching out to them instead of reaching out to them at the expense of your dollars. Meaning, if you reach out to one of those cold customers with the intent to sell them, with the objective of converting them the first time they see your business, you're gonna fail. If you have that goal in mind, you're gonna fail, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of people make a purchasing decision after they've seen your product a couple times. So there has to be interaction, right? There has to be a second, third, fourth date, if you will, before you get the cheeks. That's step one. Yo, these lights have been taking forever. God damn. So you have to be thoughtful of that. You have to be thoughtful of the, yeah, man, I have to do better, man. I have to do better. And it's fucking crazy because, anyway, so cold traffic versus hot traffic. Cold traffic, with hot traffic, you could actually send a different message. You could actually potentially convert that customer right then and there. Because they've seen your product before. They know what you're about. They know you're legit. B, they purchase. They have that type of behavior. They actually are known to purchase online. They've made purchases before. So it's stuff like that you just got to be thoughtful of how you, and both are okay. But the other reason I wanted to say that the other one would pretty much not be a good idea to try to sell a customer that's cold. One of the reasons you don't want to do that is because, well, every time you reach out to that customer, every time you reach out to them, you send a message to them. I mean, every time you expose your message to them, you're paying for that, right? So it's through an ad, right? Versus if you collected that information if you collected the customer's data, you could retarget that audience at a fraction of a cost. You could retarget that customer for a fraction of the cost, right? So I'm going to say that again because I know I wasn't clear. If you reach out to a cold customer, right? If you target a cold customer, if you try to convert a cold customer, and your ad copy is geared towards trying to get that customer to make a purchase today, 9 times out of 10 they're not. Because they've never seen your product. They don't know what you're about. They have no trust. There's no credibility established, right? Versus, and the other con to it is if you try to convert them off rip, you know that's the fact. They're not going to make that purchase. In order for you to get them to make that purchase, you're either going to have to keep sending that message over to them. You're going to have to keep putting that message in front of them. Or you could be smarter about it and pull that customer out of the social media realm. Pull them out of the whatever platform you got them from. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Just pull them out. And now you start retargeting a message to them, whether it's educational, whether it's informative, whether it's actually aggressive and wanting to sell. You start doing that to them through email. And how you save money is because, think about it, you already have that contact information. Before, you're paying for an actual lead. You're paying for a random person in the webs to you're trying to gather that information. You're trying to pique their interest. Out of all the stuff that's going on, you pique their interest, you pull that data, and then you extract their phone number, their data, their name, their email. You put it into an autoresponder, and from an autoresponder, you could retarget to them at a fraction of a cost. Essentially, your expense is whatever you have to pay for that autoresponder. With autoresponders, there's different tiers. So there's going to be, it just depends how many contacts you have. There's no reason to have an enterprise system. There's no reason to have an enterprise package if you're not developing, if you're not contacting that amount of leads. But initially, just start with the basic plan, connect your autoresponder to a landing page, and start collecting data. And those customers that show interest, instead of reaching out to those customers, like if it's the first time that they see the message, if somebody has seen your message, now you can have a different message towards those people, right? So if somebody has bought a product, or if they've read your blog, or if they've clicked on About Me, and these are parameters that you could track by using Google Analytics and creating events around it. I'm not going to get into that right now, but these are options that you have. And once you have this audience, essentially this specific audience, you could target messages to them, right? So if they've seen your product, right? If they've seen your product, and only if they've seen your product, or only if they've bought something from your website, at that point you will target another message saying, hey, I really want you to come in. I appreciate the business that you brought us in, or I appreciate the business that you brought us for the year of 2022. You know what I mean? Come in sometime this week or next week or this month, and haircut on us, or you know what I'm saying, eyebrows on us, or whatever the case is. You just have to be thoughtful of being able to you gotta know if you're gonna be retargeting that. If you're got a little sidetracked there. I saw something that caught my attention. But who it is depends on how the message is shown, right? So if it's a cold contact, then you're gonna want to be more informative, be more soft with it, educate. It's just like a woman, bro. It's like, that's the best way to explain it. It's like when you meet a girl for the first time, you can't really be real. As much as girls say they like a nigga that real, no, they don't. They like niggas that lie. They do. It's just a fact of life. They don't like truth. They like lies. If they like lies, niggas like, if they like lies. They don't like truth. You know what I'm saying? You can't be real. And I hate to compare it to that, but it's just true. You know what I'm saying? So in this case, with something different. Something different. I thought I wanted that. Like, I really thought I wanted what comes with the American dream, I guess you call it. Nice restaurants and shit. I do want it. I want to have the option to do it, but I'm not going to. Oh my god, I just found a hack on OnlyFix already.